Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Top Vloggers. As always, I am High and Mighty Joe. Well, we are on our way to see one of the homes of basketball great Reggie Miller. Of course, Reggie Miller was born in Riverside, California, but he has spent most of his life in Indiana since he had played for the Pacers, pretty much his entire career. His playing career began in '87, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he retired in 2005. Reggie Miller's basketball number was 31, and growing up as a kid, living in Indiana, basketball was always a big thing. And, of course, pro basketball being one of the biggest things in Indiana. And, of course, we had Reggie Miller, one of the greatest players of all time. So we are on our way to one of his homes. I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and we'll see you there. Well, we are here in front of the home of Reggie Miller at the time. Reggie Miller, this is his first home that he had in Indianapolis. As I said earlier, now Reggie Miller was originally from California, and he went to college out at UCLA in California, and began his playing career for the Pacers in 1987. Now, it wasn't always an easy way for Reggie Miller. Now, Reggie is one of 5 siblings, and he was born with hip deformities, which prevented him from walking, and of course, and running and jumping and things like that. And after a few years of continuously wearing braces on both of his legs strengthened up and gave him enough ability to be able to walk on his own and things like that. And then he would become possibly one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Reggie Miller, his list of credentials, go on and on. I could give you a list of career credentials. He's one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time. He is one of the greatest free throw shooters of all time. He was just one of the greatest players. He was probably my favorite player growing up. Of course, being from Indiana. He was definitely probably my favorite player, I'd say, of all time. Definitely growing up, because, well, I lived in Indiana, so that was obviously a big thing for us growing up in Indiana to know that Reggie Miller would be leading our Indiana Pacers. Now, Reggie Miller was once married him and his wife Marita, or former wife Marita, shared a very romantic and cheerful moment for almost a decade between 1992 and 2001. He did have 2 short relationships after his separation, but it is believed that he is currently single. Reggie Miller was one of the greatest basketball players that I'd ever known. And like I said, his impeccable career speaks for itself. He was an all Pac-10 selection for the second straight year. He led the Bruins to a Pacific 10 regular season championship and the first Pacific 10 Conference men's basketball tournament championship in the senior season in 1986 and 1987. He did so many great things. Like I said, one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time. I'd say that I'd say his net worth is probably about $90 million. He is currently a analyst for the NBA and TNT or one of those basketball channels that play basketball all the time. So yeah, Reggie Miller, definitely, like I said, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. And this was one of his homes. Now on May 7th of 1995, Reggie Miller scored 8 points in 8.9 seconds to beat the New York Knicks in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals in one of the biggest moments in basketball history. I remember that day. It was one of the greatest things I think I'd ever seen in my life. It was an iconic moment. That is for sure. He scored 8 points in 8.9 seconds. So basically 8 points in 9 seconds. It was unreal to even see something like that be able to be done. Now the Pacers have, even with as great as Reggie Miller was, and they did have a great team several years. The problem with the Indiana Pacers has always seemed to be the biggest thing, and the same thing, which is that they have just never seemed to be able to put it all together and win a championship. That seems to be the biggest problem. Of course, now Reggie Miller is retired, and so but they're doing really good this year, and things are looking up. So maybe this could be the year. You just never know. But that'll do it for this house, and we'll see you at his other house. Well, we are on our way to Reggie Miller's other home, but I wanted to show you some of these other homes on the way. These very big, beautiful homes to kind of give you an idea of, well, definitely what kind of neighborhood and what kind of homes that Reggie Miller was living in. Some very big, beautiful homes. Now we are coming up on Reggie Miller's home. There it is. There was the home of Reggie Miller. We are going to circle around and we'll be back. Well, here we are at Reggie Miller's other home. This is the home that he moved out of the home that we just saw and into this home. And during that time, there was a fire, an arson, and it destroyed the $2.9 million home. It had to be completely rebuilt. They were Miller and his wife were moving into the 6-bedroom house, which was undergoing renovations. They were not home at the time when the fire broke out. Miller did offer a $10,000 reward for information leading to an arrest or conviction, adding to the $7,000 already offered. There has never been anybody convicted of that crime. Reggie Miller did go on to list his home in December of 2007 with the asking price of $7.5 million. It finally sold for $4.5 million. The home was rebuilt, as I said, in 1997 after the fire. It is located in Fortville, Indiana. It sits on 6 acres of land and boasts an in-ground pool, tennis court, and stocked pond. When the realtor was asked why the home took so long to sell, apparently everything in the home had been customized for Reggie Miller, who is a 6'7" basketball player. So, kind of a hard sell, if you're asking me. I again do appreciate everything that you guys do by watching these vlogs. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. You can join us on Patreon at patreon.com, thetopvlogers, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and Top Vloggers out.